Star Trek is ready to revisit one of its worst mistakes, and it will change the Federation forever. For nearly 6 decades, Star Trek has prided itself on pushing forward in time, in ideals, and in storytelling. But sometimes, the only way to truly move forward is to look back at where things went wrong. The franchise is now poised to revisit one of its most controversial choices, a mistake that reshaped the Federation, fractured trust among its citizens, and questioned the very ideal Star Trek was built upon. As modern Trek prepares to confront this past era, it may just change the Federation's future forever. The Federation's biggest betrayal. Few decisions in Star Trek's history divided fans as sharply as the creation of Section 31, the covert intelligence agency operating in the shadows of Starfleet. Introduced in Star Trek Deep Space Nine, Section 31 was meant to represent the Federation's dirty secret, an organization willing to compromise morality for the sake of security. The reveal that this self-proclaimed utopian society harbored an organization engaging in espionage, sabotage, and even biological warfare was a gut punch to audiences who saw Starfleet as humanity's moral compass. Over the years, the mistake wasn't just the organization itself. It was how deeply the franchise leaned into it. Later shows and movies, like Star Trek Into Darkness and Star Trek Discovery, expanded Section 31's influence until it almost became synonymous with Starfleet itself. The Federation's optimism began to feel hollow when nearly every crisis had a secret operative pulling strings from the shadows. Now, with Section 31, the movie on the horizon starring Michelle Yeoh as Emperor Philippa Georgiou, Star Trek seems ready to finally confront this moral stain rather than glorify it. The mirror of morality. When Deep Space Nine first introduced Section 31 through the character of Luther Sloan, it wasn't meant as an endorsement of their methods. Instead, it was a mirror, a reflection of how even the most virtuous civilizations can slip when fear overrides principle. Sisko's uneasy alliance with Section 31 during the Dominion War blurred the line between necessity and ethics. It forced fans and characters alike to ask, can a perfect society stay perfect when survival is at stake? But later depictions lost that nuance. In Into Darkness, Admiral Marcus's militarized vision for the Federation turned Starfleet into an imperialist force. Discovery's prequel-era storyline made Section 31 seem omnipresent, controlling technology and intelligence decades before Kirk and Spock. The mystery and danger of Section 31 were replaced with power and glamour, the exact opposite of what made their existence disturbing in the first place. By turning Section 31 into a staple rather than an anomaly, Star Trek accidentally normalized the Federation's worst instincts. Michelle Yeoh's Georgiou is the key. That's why Section 31. The movie feels like a chance at redemption, both for the Federation and the franchise itself. Philippa Georgiou, the former Terran Emperor from the Mirror Universe, embodies everything the Federation is not supposed to be: ruthless, imperialistic, and morally gray. Yet through her time with Starfleet in Discovery, she began to understand the strength of compassion, cooperation, and idealism, values the Federation once stood for without compromise. If anyone is fit to dismantle Section 31 from within, it's her. The movie's premise reportedly follows Georgiou working under Starfleet's covert command, but her journey isn't about furthering their agenda. It's about confronting the cost of secrecy and control. She represents the Federation's darkest reflection, learning to embrace its light. Revisiting the Section 31 storyline through Georgiou's eyes gives Star Trek a chance to make a powerful statement. The Federation doesn't need to be perfect, but it does need to be accountable, changing the Federation's future. If the movie delivers on this promise, the repercussions across Star Trek's timeline could be immense. The Federation has always evolved, from a Cold War allegory in the original series to a post-scarcity democracy in the next generation. But the inclusion of Section 31 always hinted at a rot beneath the surface, one that couldn't be ignored forever. By finally confronting this hidden corruption, Star Trek could redefine what the Federation stands for in the 25th century and beyond. The recent Picard series already showed cracks in Starfleet's idealism: synthetic bands, Romulan refugees abandoned, admirals losing faith in the dream. The galaxy has grown cynical, and perhaps for good reason. But redemption is a classic Star Trek theme. By exposing Section 31 and reforming what it represents, the franchise can reaffirm that the Federation's ideals still matter, that progress isn't about pretending mistakes didn't happen, but learning from them. A Federation reborn. This is what makes Star Trek timeless. It evolves with humanity. Every era has its moral crisis, and every captain, from Kirk to Burnham, has had to redefine what doing the right thing means. Now, it's the Federation's turn to look inward. Imagine a galaxy where the truth about Starfleet's